Spencer Lazara, MMA Interviews. I'm alongside Johnny Nunez, cast member of The Ultimate Fighter this season with Conor and Uriah, man. We haven't gotten into this yet much at all, so we're on episode 3 just happened. But episode 1, you lose. Right. You get called back in the house. I mean, talk to us about what's going on in your head, you know, going into that fight. I know you said it was short notice against a grappler, and then here you are against, you know, don't know what's going on and get brought back.
Well, it was a huge surprise. You know, I do really well against grapplers, especially like with MMA. But you know, when they told me who I was fighting, I didn't really take it as serious as I probably should have. You know, Ryan Hall has got, you know, vicious leg locks, and I think I do pretty well against other grapplers and other good jiu-jitsu guys. But you know, he got underneath me and you know, he subbed me, and it was hard, you know, like especially after that, it wasn't a lot into the fight that had happened. After that happened, it was like shit. I'm going home, and you know, it was kind of like a blessing for them to, you know, I think Dana thought that I had something more to offer, you know, like I didn't really get to see my full potential. So it was
Uriah as well. I mean, Uriah is kind of choosing you to come back.
Yeah, you're right. Uriah chose me to come back as far as anywhere from the other guys, and it was a surreal feeling, you know, when they gave me the call and they said, you know, we want you to come back on, and it was just kind of like a second chance, and you know, I felt like I needed to prove myself that I had to be in the house, that I needed to be in the house, and I belonged there.
How much do you think it had to do also? I mean, Uriah says it with your wrestling. You have this high-level wrestling background, and the first thing you think about when you got U.S. versus Europe is the wrestling advantage the U.S. does have.
Right. You know, that was his main thing. You know, he grew up wrestling as well, so it was easy for him to pick a wrestler as far as like going against the Europeans, because their wrestling isn't great there. And you know, a lot of the fights getting into the house weren't on the ground. You know, those Europeans, they like to stand up and they like to bang. So it was kind of a good game plan on Uriah's part to, like, you know, bring in a wrestler, and you know, I was their guy. I was right there ready. I stayed ready, and you know, it was just a blessing overall.
First time I met you was here, and you were wrestling with Michael Chandler, and he was pretty raw as well coming at that time in MMA, and you guys were just going at it wrestling. That was the most fun I've had filming maybe like in all the years. It was just an incredible session, and seeing that. And usually when you get grapplers, it's not so exciting, but guys like you guys, it's a mile a minute. I mean, talk about that and coming from those roots and your progression now, getting to this point, and here you are, like you said, on The Ultimate Fighter, and getting that weird second chance.
Right. You know, wrestling at Boise State, I grew up wrestling my whole life, and you know, wrestling changed my life, and especially coming into MMA, it's kind of changed my MMA career. I've gotten a little bit away from it, trying to work on my hands, because you know, obviously wrestlers don't start off with the best hands, but it's a different aspect when you're grappling. You know, it's like go, push, you know, and grappling and jiu-jitsu is kind of just wait, see what's there, don't make things happen.
So we will talk now about the episodes. Obviously, the first episode's getting in the house, but then episode 2, we had a good fight, you know, again with the heel hook. I mean, talk about him and his incredible, you know, skills on the ground.
Yeah, Ryan, that's what they call him, the Wizard. You know, it was a funny joke in there. You know, Uriah started calling him the Wizard, and you know, you just see him wearing like a wizard hat or like a sorcerer's sword. But you know, he's got his own personality, and he's got his own way of doing things, and even like being in the house, he just kind of just really doesn't care about what everybody else says. You know, we were waiting on him a lot to go to the gym, like. You know, he'd wake up right before we'd have to go train. So, you know, he's one of those odd kids that just is really good at what he does. And, you know, it'll take a little bit of time to pick somebody like that apart, but, you know, he's really good at what he does, and there's really no other explanation for it.
And then obviously this recent episode, we did get to see a little bit of wrestling and that grind of the U.S. kind of take over. Grits there, you know, just was able to get the takedowns, and it seemed like he just kind of wilted and went to his back. What'd you think about that? And Conor getting a little upset.
Oh, Sasha, talking about Sasha, right? Yeah, Sasha, you know, being right there and seeing that happen right in front of me, it was kind of just like you don't talk come on, Conor, you don't talk to your guys that way, you know. And I even spoke with Sasha afterwards. I was like, hey man, don't put up with that shit. Don't put up with that bullshit. If he's gonna call you a pussy, and you know, Sasha said he didn't hear him, but he knew. He knew. That's not something you tell your guys. And you know, it's not my team, but you know, Sasha's a good dude. Sasha's a tough guy. And yeah, maybe he should have been helped a little bit more, you know, like as far as his wrestling. I guess he wrestled a little bit, but...
You think it was more, though, pressure, the pressure of the fight, or was it him getting tired a little? Like, what do you think it was?
I think it was a little bit of him getting tired and just, you know, trying to throw it all out there, but not really knowing what to do. You know, I mean, if Conor and their coaches would have been in there, like, you know, showing them how to shoot double legs, showing them how to do this. You know, I guess they had their wrestling coaches there, but it's not like Sasha didn't want to be there. It's not like, oh, he just gave up, because I know Sasha personally, just from being in the house, and he's not that kind of person. So I think he just got tired, and you know, he just didn't have it. You know, Grits is a tough dude, and it's hard for, you know, to surpass somebody like Grits. Like Grits is he'll just keep going forward. He'll get hit, he'll get dropped, he'll get up, he'll keep going forward. And it's really hard to beat somebody like that. It really is.
We're here at Extreme Couture, of course, where you're back at training. I mean, talk about being here and kind of going through the ringer here over time and getting to this point as well.
Yeah, Extreme Couture is, you know, it's still on the rise. We've got Robert Follis here, Eric Nixon, you know, a lot of great coaches. I'm still with my coach, Nate Pettit, also working with Jimmy Gifford. And, you know, I'm doing other stuff around the city as far as, like, grappling, but my home base is here at Extreme Couture. And it just feels good to be back. It's like a family, like, here, you know, getting back into training again. Everybody, you know, wants to know what happened and how things turned out. And obviously I can't tell them, but you know, I just got to stay ready for the finale. You know, it's gonna be a good season. That's all I got to say.
Well, we'll definitely be talking with you more, and you know, can't go forward. We just stick to what we got, you know, and everyone keep watching, of course. One thing interesting about you, I think that's cool, is how you've, you know, gotten to Las Vegas and found your spot in the nightlife industry and at the pool parties, really, to make money, and then that supports you, you know, and then you work extra hard. You can still train, but then you work extra hard in the off season from that and train. Talk about that.
Yeah, you know, I've been working over at Encore Beach Club for 4 summers now, and going into that job the first year, I mean, it's rough. I just work weekends, but it's a rough 3 days. I'm working 30 hours a week, you know, in the sun, you know, taking care of, you know, high-end guests, and I couldn't do it without the support from my managers and you know, like Sean Christie, Steve Wynn. I'm sure, you know, they let me have the time off to go do the show, and it was just really a surreal experience, and it feels good to have managers like Mike Pena and Ryan Jones and those guys to really support what I really want to do in life. And it was good, and you know, hopefully they'll have me back next year. You know, I do it in a heartbeat. You know, it's good money, it's like a family, and you know, I'm outside at the pool. It's not too bad sometimes.
Not too bad. Just gets a little hot out there. Well, cool, man. I mean, anything else you want to say before we sign off? Obviously, everyone needs to watch episode 4, you know, Wednesday nights on Fox Sports 1.
Yeah, I just tune in Wednesday nights to Fox Sports 1, Ultimate Fighter. Next week's going to be a great episode. You don't want to miss it.
There you have it. Johnny Nunez, Spencer Lazara. Thanks for watching.